Part 6. Ensure a future income. The sun was setting, casting warm hues of orange and pink across the sky as Elias sat on the steps of his apartment building. He felt a deep sense of pride. His garage was running successfully, and the rental income from his apartments was steady. For the first time in his life, he truly felt like he was building something meaningful. Yet, as he sat there, a thought crept into his mind. What happens when I get older? What happens when I can't work anymore? While he had been focused on saving and investing in his business, he hadn't given much thought to the distant future. A wave of uncertainty washed over him. The next morning, determined to find answers, Elias sought out Mr. Henderson. As expected, he found the wise old man in the town square, feeding breadcrumbs to the pigeons. "Mr. Henderson," Elias called out, "do you have a moment?" Mr. Henderson turned and smiled. "Of course, Elias. What's on your mind?" Elias sat down next to him on the bench. "I've been thinking about the future. I've worked hard to save and invest in my garage and apartments. But what happens when I'm too old to work? How can I make sure I'll always have money coming in?" Mr. Henderson nodded. "That's a wise question, Elias. The money you've saved so far is important, but now it's time to think beyond today. You need to ensure that your money continues to grow for the years ahead, even when you're no longer working." Elias frowned. "But how do I do that?" Mr. Henderson chuckled. "Let me explain. Long-term investments. Right now, your money is easily accessible. That's great for emergencies, but some of it should be set aside for the future. Money that you won't touch for years, but that will grow over time and support you when you need it most." Elias leaned forward. "How does that work?" "There are two main ways," Mr. Henderson said. "First, you can open a retirement account like an IRA. Second, you can create more passive income, like the rental money you're already earning." Retirement accounts. Mr. Henderson took out a small notebook and drew a simple chart. An IRA is a special account for retirement. You put money in now, and it grows over time, but you can't withdraw it until you're older without facing a penalty. This forces you to save for the future. Elias raised an eyebrow. "How does it grow?" "Through compound interest," Mr. Henderson explained with a knowing smile. "It's the same principle we talked about when you first started saving, making your money work for you instead of just sitting there." Elias nodded, remembering their earlier conversation. Back then, he had learned that just saving money wasn't enough. It had to be invested wisely to truly grow. Mr. Henderson continued, "Think of it this way. When you first started saving, you kept your money under your mattress. Then you began to put your money into an account that earned interest. But remember, here's the real magic. Not only does your initial deposit earn interest, but that interest also earns interest. It keeps building on itself." He gave an example. "Let's say you invest $100 today with a 7 annual return. After 1 year, you'll have $107. The next year, you're not just earning 7 on the original $100. You're earning 7 on the full $107. And the year after that, you earn interest on an even larger amount. Over time, your money multiplies." Elias leaned back, impressed. "So it's just like when I started making my savings work for me. Only this time it's for many more years in the future." Mr. Henderson nodded. "Exactly. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. It's all about making smart choices now, so your future self can reap the rewards." Elias's eyes widened. "That sounds incredible. But what if I need the money before I'm old?" "That's exactly why you don't put all your money here," Mr. Henderson said with a knowing smile. "Think of your money like a team. Each player has a different role. The cash you've saved so far is for emergencies or opportunities that come up now. But this money? This is for your future self, years down the road." He continued, "You should only put a percentage of your income into long-term investments like this. Enough to grow over time, but not so much that you don't have access to money when you need it. Balance is key." Elias nodded slowly. So, I still need savings for today, but I also need to think about the future. Exactly, Mr. Henderson said. The goal is to make sure you're taking care of both now and later. Passive income. Mr. Henderson then gestured toward Elias's apartment building. You're already building passive income with your rentals. Passive income is money you earn without actively working for it. It's one of the best ways to secure your future. Elias nodded. I see. The rent comes in every month, even if I'm not working. Exactly, Mr. Henderson said. And as you save more, you can invest in another property or other assets that create passive income, like dividend-paying stocks. Elias felt a sense of determination. I want to do this. I want to make sure I'm taken care of when I'm older. Mr. Henderson smiled. Good. Start by opening an IRA. Even if you only contribute $50 or $100 a month, it will grow significantly over time. And keep growing your passive income streams. You're already on the right path. Elias nodded with newfound confidence. I'll do it. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. I feel much better knowing I'm planning ahead. That afternoon, Elias took action. He opened an IRA and set up automatic monthly contributions. He also planned to reinvest some of his rental income to purchase another property. As he reviewed his financial plans, he felt a deep sense of peace. He wasn't just building wealth for today, he was securing his future. As the sun set, Elias stood outside his apartment building, feeling hopeful. In just over a year, he had come so far. And with Mr. Henderson's guidance, he knew his future was bright. In a part 6, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the last part of the story.